Welcome back to another episode of SNEED-CAST Industry Update, our series that keeps you updated with our ever-changing industry. For those of you that have been watching the series for a while now, you know how this goes, but for those of you that are new, welcome. We'll be covering the latest in manufacturing, packaging, coding, sustainability, and much more. I'm your host, Alexa, and today we'll discuss topics ranging from Smithfield resolving child labor allegations, to Trump's plan failing to bring down grocery costs, to ushering in a new era of plastics and packaging, and finally, investing in climate-smart agricultural projects. So, starting off. The issue of child labor in the United States has recently garnered significant attention, particularly within the meat processing industry, a sector known for its demanding and often hazardous working conditions. This heightened focus arises from allegations against Smithfield's Food, a leading meat processor, involving child labor violations at their Minnesota facility. The allegations surfaced following an investigation by the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry, which revealed that 11 minors, all aged between 14 to 17, were employed from April of 2021 to April of 2023. These young workers were found to be performing potentially hazardous tasks, which are strictly prohibited for those under 18 due to safety concerns. Key developments in this case include Smithfield's agreement to pay a $2 million penalty, marking the largest administrative recovery in a child labor enforcement action by the state. The settlement also includes commitments by Smithfield to ensure adherence to child labor laws moving forward. U.S. law strictly prohibits the employment of persons under 18 in meat processing facilities due to inherently dangerous conditions present in such environments, such as exposure to heavy machinery and potentially harmful chemicals. Smithfield maintains they unknowingly hired minors using false identification, as they all successfully passed the federal E-Verify system, which is designed to confirm employment eligibility. Recent U.S. Department of Labor interventions illustrate a wider crackdown against child labor, evidenced by a 69% increase in illegal child employment cases since 2018. The Biden administration has communicated directly with large meat producers, insisting on strict adherence to labor laws and emphasizing the importance of implementing robust verification processes to prevent such violations. The impact of these changes resonates nationwide, reinforcing the importance of safeguarding young workers in all industries. High-profile settlements like Smithfield's and other involving companies such as Packer Sanitation Services Incorporated and Mar-Jack Poultry emphasize a strengthened regulatory landscape. By focusing on eliminating child labor risks within the industry, the government and industry leaders aim to create a safer and more ethical working environment, ensuring that the rights and well-being of young workers are prioritized and upheld. Moving on. In recent years, rising food prices have become a critical concern for American voters, with many hoping the political leadership might alleviate the financial burden. Over the past few years, these increases have been exacerbated by a combination of global and domestic factors, including the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the geopolitical tensions resulting from the Ukraine war, and outbreaks such as the avian flu. As a result, prices for food eaten at home have surged by 28% from 2019, placing immense pressure on household budgets across the nation. President-elect Donald Trump has made bold promises on the campaign trail to lower grocery bills, a hope shared by many of his supporters who are eager for relief at the checkout line. Trump has proposed tariffs as a solution to this issue, suggesting a substantial 60% tariff on Chinese products and a 10% to 20% tariff on all other imports. This approach is intended to bolster the U.S. agricultural sector by reducing foreign competition, thus theoretically supporting domestic producers. It's important to note that American agriculture heavily relies on imported goods, with the USDA reporting that 60% of fresh fruit and 38% of fresh vegetables are imported each year. However, economic experts caution that these measures might lead to unintended consequences. For instance, imposing such tariffs could result in increased prices for imported goods like fertilizer and packaging materials, which are essential for food production and could in turn raise overall food costs for consumers. David Ortega, an agricultural economist from Michigan State University, emphasizes that additional policies such as deporting undocumented workers who play a significant role in the agricultural workforce could further drive up prices by creating labor shortages. As a potential remedy, experts like Maria Kalizadonik suggest focusing on long-term strategies. These could involve fostering advancements in agricultural technology, which might improve efficiency and productivity, as well as enhancing infrastructure to streamline supply chains and reduce costs. Such strategic investments could help stabilize food prices over time, mitigating the effects of external economic shocks. While Trump's plan to slash energy prices could have a modest impact on food costs, it is important to recognize that energy accounts for only about 4 cents per dollar of food production costs. As such, the expected sweeping reductions in grocery prices may not materialize quickly or as dramatically as some hope. Joseph Glauber from the International Food Policy Research Institute argues that, although reduced energy costs may contribute to lower food prices, the influence is likely to be marginal in the short term. Overall, while immediate relief remains challenging, there is evidence to suggest that a combination of strategic investments and careful policy adjustments could eventually help stabilize food price inflation, offering a more sustainable solution for the future. Moving on, the upcoming UN Plastics Treaty represents a significant global effort to combat the prevalent plastic pollution crisis, which has become one of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time. This treaty, scheduled for final negotiations in Busan, South Korea in November, involves over 200 countries coming together with the ambitious goal of redefining plastic production and waste management worldwide. Given the startling statistic that less than 10% of the 7 billion tons of plastic waste has been recycled, the urgency for this treaty is underscored by predictions suggesting that plastic waste entering aquatic ecosystems could nearly triple by 2040, according to the UN. This alarming projection highlights the critical need for immediate action to prevent further degradation of our oceans and waterways, which serve as vital resources for biodiversity and human livelihoods. The treaty is set to mandate pivotal changes across several areas crucial to packaging and consumer good firms. By pivoting towards durable business models, it encourages design modifications for sustainability and circularity, enhances producer responsibility, targets the eradication of hazardous chemicals, and demands comprehensive data transparency within the supply chain. These changes aim to create a more sustainable approach to plastics, emphasizing the need for reducing waste at the source and ensuring the materials are designed with their full life cycle in mind. This shift is being championed by notable industry groups like the Business Coalition for Global Plastics Treaty, which includes some of the most renowned consumer brands. These companies are advocating for the adoption of practices that not only minimize environmental impact, but also drive innovation in product design and waste management solutions. Through collaboration and shared commitment, they aim to lead the way in transitioning to a more sustainable economy. Implementing this treaty poses several challenges, particularly in regards to compliance with new regulations like extended producer responsibility, known as EPR laws, managing chemicals of concern, and fostering transparency across extensive supply chains. Solutions lie in adopting technologies and frameworks such as traceability systems, aligning with harmonized international standards, and embracing collaborative data sharing across the value chain. One solution, exemplified by Unilever's use of blockchain technology to heighten palm oil traceability, offers a model for similar transparency-driven endeavors in the plastic sector. The ratification and implementation of the UN Plastics Treaty will be transformative, proposing a sustainable future by advocating for a circular economy in plastics. This approach fosters market and business model innovation and reduces the ecological footprint of packaging globally. By closing the loop on plastic usage, it seeks to minimize waste and promote materials as resources that can be reused, remanufactured, and recycled. Such industry-wide shifts are expected to not only mitigate environmental damage, but also new opportunities in green markets, offering economic incentives for businesses willing to adapt. With robust international collaboration and commitment to shared standards, the treaty holds the promise of significantly reducing plastic pollution and enhancing environmental sustainability on a global scale. And we've made it to our final story. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, known as the USDA, recently announced a groundbreaking investment of $1.5 billion into an ambitious suite of 92 conservation and climate-smart agricultural projects through the Regional Conservation Partnership Program, known as the RCPP. This partner-driven initiative aims to address some of the most pressing natural resource challenges on agricultural land across the nation. This initiative is further bolstered by additional contributions totaling $968 million from a diverse range of project partners, including state and local governments, nonprofit organizations, and private stakeholders. One of the most significant advancements in this initiative is the historic funding boost enabled by the Biden-Harris administration's Inflation Reduction Act. This act is widely regarded as the largest climate action and conservation investment in world history, with a total allocation of $19.5 billion dedicated to conservation efforts. Of this, $4.95 billion is specifically earmarked for the RCPP, supporting a variety of new projects. These projects are designed to help farmers, ranchers, and forest landowners adopt innovative conservation strategies that not only sustain their livelihoods, but also contribute to broader environmental goals. These include efforts to reduce methane emissions in livestock operations, implement water conservation techniques in drought-stricken western regions, and restore vital terrestrial wildlife habitats. Addressing these challenges requires collaborative solutions that integrate pioneering technologies and innovative strategies. Such collaborations will enhance the resilience and sustainability of agricultural operations, ensuring they can withstand and adapt to changing environmental conditions. The USDA's funding efforts are poised to deliver substantial impacts on both local and national levels. As noted by Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack, the RCPP serves as a prime example of effective public-private partnerships that leverage the strengths of each sector. By equipping those who intimately understand the landscapes with the necessary tools and resources, these projects promise to bolster climate resilience, sustainability, and productivity across America's working lands. This episode of SNEED-CAST Industry Update is proudly sponsored by our SNEEDJet Freedom handheld printers. These compact powerhouses effortlessly produce barcodes, law codes, badge codes, QR codes, personalized traceability information, messages, and more, all up to an inch in size. Not only does it assist small to medium-sized businesses in meeting retail regulations, but it's also aiding the Houston Food Bank in efficiently labeling their consumables. Recently, our CEO, Brian Sneed, generously donated 4 Freedom handheld printers to the Houston Food Bank, and we had the privilege of interviewing their CEO and president, Brian Green. With Thanksgiving approaching, be sure to catch this episode of SNEED-CAST and remember to volunteer or donate during this holiday season and throughout the year to make a difference. Like always, stay tuned for our next episode of SNEED-CAST Industry Update, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below to stay up to date with all of our great content. Also, let us know what topics you'd like to see us talk about here on the show. We look forward to hearing from you all. Bye, everyone.